One little boy was always positive. No matter whatever happened in his life, he was positive about it. But this other little kid was always negative. No matter whatever happened to him, he was negative about it. And the father don't understand the reason why. Because they're twins. So he put this negative little kid in this room with nothing but brand new toys. But he put this positive little kid in this room with nothing but horse manure. And after an hour or so, he looked in on this negative little kid, and this negative little kid is complaining that I don't want this, I want this over here, I don't want that, I want this over here. So the father knew that this kid is never going to amount to anything because nothing never makes him happy. But he looks in on this positive little kid, and this positive little kid has a show. He's shoving his horse manure over his shoulder, laughing and singing and having a good time. And the father first thinks this kid is crazy. But he asked him, he said, son, what's going on? What's going on? Little boy looked at his father and said, you know, Dad, as much horse manure as there is in this room, there must be a pony at the bottom of it. And the reason I tell you that is God has promised us that we're all a king and we're a queen. But we can't get it if we're going to cheat life. And the way you cheat life is not doing your very best. The way you cheat life is not thinking that you're special. You know, I heard T.O. last year say that I love me some T.O. and people start saying that he's an idiot. He didn't, and let me tell you what, I love me some Herschel Walker. And I'm going to tell all you young kids out there, love yourself. Because before you can ask anyone else to love you, you got to love yourself first. You know, when I was little, I used to have a speech impediment. I couldn't put a sentence together. I was a little bit overweight. I was not a good athlete. A lot of kids wouldn't even play with me. And as I think back then, I wouldn't play with myself either. But what was funny about that, I had two parents that they were not going to let me give up. First of all, they were not going to let me get away with anything. They said, you will do it when I tell you to do it, and that's the way we got to do life today. We become a society that we have so much freedom that we forget to do what's right. We then have so many opinions that we forget that kids are our future. We forget to tell them that, hey God, you are our future, so you will do what's right, you will do what I tell you to do, and you will do it now. Because now we're beginning to say, no, he's not my child. No, I'm not going to tell him because I'm not sure what he's going to do. But let's take the responsibility to tell him to do what's right. You know, I love to compete. I love athletics. And not that I love athletics, but I love it because my mother said, you do everything in life as Jesus is looking at you. And you know what's so strange? I heard this story once about this guy that he was this kid that always goofed off. He was goofing off all the time. At practice, he was always goofing off. He was a third-team tailback. And all of a sudden, his time came to play because the first team guy got hurt. The second team guy had to go to quarterback. The coach decided to put him in. And as he went in, he had 200 yards in 2 quarters. And they asked him, they said, what's going on? What's going on? He said, you know what? For years, my father was blind. He never got a chance to see me play. But he died last night. And now he's in heaven, and he's going to get to see me play. So when you do anything in life, think of your father looking at you play this game. And that's the way I do life. I say, when I go out and compete, I'm bring more than your lunch. Because we'll be there all day. That's the way life is about. And I want to tell you, you know, every now and then, you got to remember that faith is so important. You got to believe in yourself. You know, I'm a big TV holic, so I'm not going to make this long because Law and Order is on and I got to get to my room soon. But I was watching TV late one night. And it was funny because I was watching this show called Freak Night or Fright Night. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about vampires. And that was these kids that had this vampire in their silver. And they were scared to death to go up in there upstairs. But as they were watching TV, they saw this vampire kill on TV. So you know this show is kind of stupid, but I kept watching it hoping it's going to get better, but it doesn't get better. But I keep watching it. But then I started thinking what my mother always said. She said, in life, look at the good side of it. So I started putting God into this television show. So as these kids win this chance to get this vampire killer to come to their house, get rid of this vampire, they walked upstairs with this guy who's an actor. And he's throwing his holy water all over the floor. He's blessing his home, has his garlic and everything. And all of a sudden, this vampire floats from the ceiling. And as this vampire floats from the ceiling, he throws his holy water on the vampire, covering his eyes. But then he took his hands away and he started laughing. And he said, that don't work. You got to have faith. And that's what life is about. You can't talk it and not be willing to walk it. That means if you said you want to be good, you got to work at it. You cannot pray and lay in bed and think it's going to fall out of the sky and hit you on the head. It don't happen like that. You got to get out and work at it. And before I go, I want to leave you with this. You know, there's two old gentlemen that are staying in the hospital room. One is about to leave this world. Well, as he's about to leave this world, his friend said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? He said, if I can, I will. He said, can you let me know if there's baseball in heaven? He said, well, if I can, I'll do that. And as the guy passes away, 2 weeks later, the other guy was working in his garden, and his spirit came to him. And the guy ran up to the spirit and said, is there baseball in heaven? There's baseball in heaven. He said, well, I got some good and bad news. He said, I don't really care about that. He said, is there baseball in heaven? He said, well, the good news there is baseball in heaven. The guy goes, yes. He said, the bad news is you're pitching tomorrow. So I tell you that because we put things off that we can do today. We don't put it off. Let's get it done right now. You know, I heard a long time ago, let's get it done right now. My parents always told me, when I tell you to do it, you get it done now, not tomorrow. So I say, I love you. Jesus loves you. Thank you.